we got a problem with fear and ego. You know, we know fear is false evidence appearing real. And the ego, you know, we know as ease God out. But one of the spiritual texts I study is A Course in Miracles. And it says the ego is the fearful self. And then there's the true self, the loving self, the God self. And the ego's voice is the loudest, the first one you'll hear, and always wrong. And yet, those are the whispered lies, right? Oh, I shouldn't do this, or if I do this, oh. So we really need to claim a power wiser, greater, gooder than our negative thinking. Something that will plug us into a source of goodness. And one of the ways I found to portray this that I just love, I read this thing, it was called Look Beyond the Contours of Our Troubles. And you know, we can do that with denial and so on, but we've done the honesty step. We're not denying anything. We see what the problem is, but now we want to know how to fix it. Okay, what's interesting is, the saying is, out beyond ideas of right and wrong, doing, is a field. I'll meet you there. So, you know, Rumi's that Sufi mystic poet from the 13th century. Wrote many beautiful things, but I love this because here are the ideas of right and wrong. He shouldn't have said this. She should have said this. I should have. If only I had, what if, a few swear words in there. Okay, we got the crown of the worry on, and we're focusing here, right? Which is where the problem is. Have you heard that saying, we focus on the solution, not the problem? Well, in most people's minds, focusing on the solution would be, how do I fix it? What we've learned is that the solution comes from this field of peace, of connecting with something bigger than ourselves, be it through another person, meditation, prayer, whatever connects us, inspiring music, gratitude. The point is, we can't focus on this if we want to stay healthy. We have to acknowledge it and then not get stuck in it or dwell in it. We have to then turn to the power to help us find the solution, which the solution in my mind and my experience is always coming to a place of peace. You know, Eckhart Tolle, who wrote The Power of Now, he calls it a peaceful place. That's where the solutions come from. And then you know from your own experience, you've been beating your head against a wall. And you've been talking about it, it's been bugging you, and I'm not saying this is a fast process, by the way. Sometimes it's really slow. But
I like your definition of fear.
Oh yeah.
Other ones. Can you say it again?
False evidence appearing real.
False evidence.
Yeah.
Well, we have one too in Monroe.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't use that. No, sorry. No, that's all right. So the techniques we're going to use, really, once we get honest, we're going to stream this power into our brains by focusing on the field of peace. One of the ways to focus away from your problem and onto a solution is to, and I have the whole thing on affirmations and intentions. Because creating, you know, most of us know this, but when we run into a situation, I'll stew about it for a while until someone reminds me, you know, you can choose a vision of how you want to be in the future. And you can, Eileen led a retreat on vision boards, and this is the vision. I created an affirmation. You know, my book helps people grow and find peace. And it sells many copies. I have it. And then I made this, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I'll pass it around. But you know, there's a picture of a computer and a completed book and love and heart stars and the dove of peace. And then on the back, I have me jumping over this big hurdle and a picture of Oprah because she really inspires me. And I focused on this often. And I said my affirmation often, because the brain needs reprogramming. Even if you thought of it purely as cognitive science, The brain's got a worn groove, right? Because most of us have had a lot of negativity and things to feel negative about. And the groove needs to be reprogrammed. So that's where these affirmations come in.